Several key prophetic elements from the Bible are widely interpreted by scholars and religious commentators as unfolding in the current era, particularly in the context of end-time events. These developments are seen as fulfilling biblical signs of the last days, especially in relation to Israel, global geopolitical shifts, and spiritual conditions. Israel's restoration and the Middle East conflict. The rebirth of the modern state of Israel in 1948 is considered by many a fulfillment of biblical prophecy, such as Isaiah 66:8, which asks, "Can a nation be born in a day?" This prophecy, written over 2,700 years ago, is seen as remarkably aligned with Israel's sudden emergence as a nation. Additionally, the ongoing tensions involving Iran, Syria, Lebanon, and Gaza are interpreted by some as a fulfillment of Psalm 83, a psalm that prophesies a coalition of nations surrounding Israel with intent to destroy it. The current geopolitical instability in the region, including military confrontations and regional alliances, is viewed by many as evidence that this prophecy is being activated. The rise of a global system, Babylon the Great. The prophetic rise of a global political, economic, and religious system, often referred to as Babylon the Great, is seen in the increasing integration of global institutions. The European Union, with its unified economic policies, currency, the euro, and growing military cooperation, is viewed by some as a modern echo of the prophesied revived Roman Empire described in Revelation 13. The EU's role in global affairs, especially in response to the war in Ukraine, reflects a shift toward greater collective power, signaling a possible precursor to the end-time global system. Global communication, surveillance, and technological control. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, biometric identification, central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and global surveillance systems is seen by many as a fulfillment of Revelation 13, particularly the mark of the beast. The ability to track and control populations through digital means, such as facial recognition, financial monitoring, and contactless payments, mirrors the biblical description of a world where commerce and identity are tightly controlled, requiring a mark for participation. The gospel reaching all nations. Matthew 24:14 states that the gospel will be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations before the end comes. Many believe this is being fulfilled today, with the global spread of Christianity through digital media, missionary efforts, and internet access. Some estimates suggest the gospel is now reaching more people than ever before, with over 7 billion people having access to Christian content online. Spiritual and moral decline. A growing trend toward moral relativism, the redefinition of marriage and gender, and the erosion of religious freedom, especially in Western nations, is seen by some as a fulfillment of 2 Timothy 3:1-5, which describes a time of lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy. The increasing cultural push to marginalize biblical values is interpreted as a sign of spiritual decay preceding Christ's return. Celestial and natural signs. Recent astronomical events, such as the lunar eclipse in April 2025, have been interpreted by some as a possible fulfillment of Joel 2:31, which speaks of the sun being turned to darkness and the moon to blood. While not universally accepted, these events are seen by some as part of a larger pattern of signs in the heavens. In summary, many believe that the Bible's prophetic timeline is currently unfolding through a convergence of Israel's restoration, global political unification, technological control, moral decline, and the global spread of the gospel, all pointing to the approaching return of Jesus Christ.
Restoration of Israel. The re-establishment of Israel in 1948 is seen by many as a fulfillment of prophecies like Isaiah 66:8, "Can a nation be born in a day?" and Ezekiel 37, "The valley of dry bones." However, some theologians argue the full prophecy, including spiritual renewal, remains unfulfilled, as Israel has not yet experienced national repentance or acceptance of Jesus as Messiah. Global conflicts and wars. Matthew 24:6-7 and Luke 21:10-11 predict wars, famines, and earthquakes. Current conflicts, such as the war in Ukraine, Middle East tensions, and rising geopolitical rivalries, are viewed as aligning with these signs. The April 2024 Iranian missile attack on Israel and Israel's June 2025 retaliation are seen by some as steps toward the Gog-Magog conflict foretold in Ezekiel 38-39. Moral and spiritual decline. 2 Timothy 3, 1-5 describes last days society as lovers of self, lovers of money, having the appearance of godliness but denying its power. Many see this reflected in rising individualism, moral relativism, and the erosion of religious freedom in the West. Technological control and the mark of the beast. Advances in AI, biometrics, digital currencies, CBDCs, and surveillance systems are interpreted as precursors to the economic control system in Revelation 13:16-17. While not yet fully implemented, the infrastructure for a global digital identity and transaction system is rapidly developing. Global gospel preaching. Matthew 24:14 states the gospel must be preached to all nations before the end. With digital platforms, satellite media, and global missionary efforts, Christianity is more accessible than ever. Some estimate this goal is nearly complete, suggesting the end may be near. Natural disasters and climate events. Increased frequency of earthquakes, hurricanes, wildfires, and pandemics aligns with Luke 21:11, great earthquakes, famines, and pestilences. Climate change is amplifying these birth pains Jesus described. Rise of a global system. The European Union and growing international cooperation are seen by some as a revival of the Roman Empire, Daniel 7:23-24, Revelation 17:12-14, setting the stage for a future one-world government. The Great Tribulation is a prophesied future period of intense global suffering and divine judgment, described in biblical texts such as Matthew 24:21, Revelation 7:14, and Daniel 12:1. It is characterized as a time of unprecedented distress, greater than any in human history, occurring in the end times before the second coming of Christ.